Talk about exploitation. Hello, everybody. David Schuster here. The Trump administration is ratcheting up migrant deportations, and the shamelessness is now off the charts. Case in point, this Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency arrest in Chicago.
What's your name?
Seda.
Seda what? Do you have a first and last name?
Sam.
Seda Sam?
Yes.
Where are you from?
Where I was born or where I'm from?
Where are you born?
Thailand.
The man asking those questions is Dr. Phil McGraw, a longtime TV shrink and friend of Donald Trump. Yes, Dr. Phil is now riding along with ICE agents and promoting the deportations.
What have you been charged with
Charged where?
before?
I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna talk about lawyer.
Yeah. Are you a citizen?
My mom says it.
Your mother's a citizen,
Yes.
but you're not?
Nope.
But you've never been deported before?
You Dr. Phil. You look like Dr. Phil.
Yeah? How do you know me?
No, I seen Dr. Phil, on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is an example of sanctuary cities, right? We got an illegal alien convicted of sex crimes involving children, and he's walking the streets of Chicago.
And guy next to Dr. Phil is Donald Trump's border czar, Tom Homan.
Again, the downfall, the problem with the sanctuary city, that people like us walking the street rather than local law enforcement working with federal agents, this is what we're dealing with. Yeah. You've been charged with sex crimes with children?
Not really.
Not really? And never been deported?
Nope.
Huh. Let's take them in, process them, lock them up.
Got it, sir.
All right.
Is it a transport vehicle? Working on it. Okay.
Dr. Phil himself posted this video to his social media pages. Dr. Phil is urging leaders of sanctuary cities to cooperate with ICE agents and help arrest and deport undocumented migrants. According to Dr. Phil, it would be safer for everybody if the arrests are carried out in a controlled environment. Well, it may be safer to grab undocumented migrants while they are in a jail or confined space instead of out on the streets. But the fact is that Dr. Phil is now helping Trump administration PR efforts in all of this, and that is cringeworthy and bizarre. It's also weird to the people who are being arrested. As you heard, some of them are confused as to why Dr. Phil is there to watch and record them get taken away. By most accounts, the ICE media blitz is by design. The Trump administration seems to be trying to generate as much press as possible over the deportations. To that end, CNN is reporting on a memo that instructs ICE agents to dress for the cameras.
Here's the reporting. Multiple federal agents assisting U.S. immigration officials with raids directed by the Trump administration have been told to ensure their clothing clearly depicts their respective agency in case they're filmed by members of the media, sources tell CNN. While it's common safety practice for agents conducting arrests to wear insignia clearly identifying themselves as law enforcement, even agents on the perimeter of operations conducted across the nation have been specifically instructed by their leadership to wear raid jackets to generate possible media attention.
So why would the Trump administration want ICE agents to play to the cameras? Well, it fits into Donald Trump's larger dynamic of caring more about being able to manipulate the public than in actually addressing real issues or concerns. So, for example, using military planes instead of commercial aircraft to fly out migrants gives more weight to the role of the government. And Donald Trump wants his government to be seen as uniquely powerful in carrying out deportations, even if the imagery Donald Trump wants costs more. And the fact is, a military airlift is more expensive than putting migrants on a civilian charter aircraft. Also, perceptions about size and potency clearly seem to matter to Donald Trump. And as the CNN headline says, Biden carried out the highest level of deportation since 2014, the report says. Quote, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement deported 271,484 immigrants last year, marking the highest level of deportation since 2014, according to a newly released annual report. President-elect Donald Trump plans to make mass deportation a cornerstone of his incoming administration, rebuking President Joe Biden's handling of immigration policy. But the latest ICE data reveals that the Biden administration carried out a significant number of removals last year, exceeding the previous 2 years of Biden's presidency and largely focused on public safety and national security threats. In other words, Donald Trump is already facing a challenge to make his removal numbers bigger. So Trump is compensating by making his deportations a bigger show. Never mind, of course, that these are human beings we are talking about. And many of them have not committed violent crimes. In fact, according to FBI crime data, migrant communities commit violent crimes at a lower rate per capita than communities of people born in the United States. Still, the Trump administration is trying to play up deportations while ignoring the economic cost of removing migrant workers from the agriculture and food industries. And by the way, fruit and vegetable prices are already rising thanks to the migrant labor shortage now in several states. But that seems to be of no primary concern to the Trump administration. Right now, the Trump administration is focused on showing that their deportations are bigger and more aggressive than anything ever. But even that effort is facing problems. Here's Republican Congressman Eli Crane of Arizona.
I've heard from, some good authorities that Tom Homan's already operating in the red. So the guy needs money, and if he's
he needs cash.
And the cash that Homan has asked Congress to allocate for the deportations is $86 billion. That's more than the entire annual budget of the U.S. Justice Department. It's more money than the annual State Department budget. That's how much Donald Trump and his team care about deporting undocumented migrants, or at least giving the perception that they want to deport undocumented migrants. And if the Trump administration cannot get the money, well, the Trump team at least wants to make sure the public thinks Donald Trump has done something special. Now, I mentioned the economic cost of deporting migrant workers and depleting the labor force. Well, there is some anecdotal evidence that the Trump team is aware of that drawback, because if you look at the areas where deportations are taking place, they are all Democratic cities in Democratic states. San Francisco, California, Denver, Colorado, St. Paul, Minnesota, Chicago, Illinois, Buffalo, New York, Newark, Newark, New Jersey. ICE is not going after migrants in Tampa, Florida, Miami, Florida, Richmond, Virginia, Columbus, Ohio, Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, Dallas, Texas, anywhere in Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, all home to many meat packaging plants and plenty of illegal immigrants. So why the discrepancy? Well, economists say that deporting migrant workers will ruin local economies. And perhaps Donald Trump only wants to risk the economies in Democratic states. After all, if deportations are a media show, he might as well keep the economic costs from hurting Republicans, according to Trump, right? That's how political Donald Trump's deportations have become. And the icing on the reality TV cake is Phil McGraw. Dr. Phil doesn't even need a studio for his television show. He's got the Trump administration and a constant source of made-for-TV exploitation. By the way, President Donald Trump recently got fact-checked to his face over the California wildfires.
Mr. President, if I can just defend FEMA a little bit.
Yeah.
They brought thousands of people in. I don't know how they're doing in other states. They're doing a good job for us here. They've got a huge center that's open from 9 in the morning till 8 at night. But also, when you have a disaster this size, you need to be able to deploy thousands of people, which they've been able to do.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Secret Squirrel, who wrote, "Trump's ignorance is deep." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump's administration getting busted exploiting migrant deportations with the help of Dr. Phil. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.